again at verse 20, because I want you to see the limitless nature of the promise that He's made for us there. God is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above what we can ask or think. He's saying, don't put any limitations on God. Don't limit what God can do. Don't put God in a box, because He can do more than you can ask or think. But here's what I want you to see. It doesn't say, now to Him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that is in us. It's not what it says. Everybody in this room who's a believer has resurrection power inside of them. But that doesn't say that He'll do exceeding abundantly above what we can ask or think according to the power that is in us. It says, according to the power that is we're allowing to work in us. The limitations of what we can see God do are based on how much we're willing to let Him work inside of us. God's unlimited. There are situations for some of you in this room. I don't have anybody in particular in mind, but I just know people. That every one of us are facing situations in life where many times we'll say to ourselves, I don't know what to do. And we get locked into a situation where we feel powerless, where there's no answer, and we just live in this hopeless despair, and we forget the limitless nature of God for our lives. I'm telling you, God is so big. The dreams He's got for you is so big. The miracles that He has in store for you, the call on your life, the places of ministry, the satisfaction of your heart, all of those things that God has prepared for every one of us are only limited by what we're allowing God to do in our own hearts. The limit in our lives is based on how much we are allowing the resurrection power of God to work in us at a heart level. Friends, I don't know how long I've been in ministry now. Right around 20 years. And more than any time in my life, I am just at this place where, God, I don't want to just pastor people by giving them a good message and sending them home and hope that they get better. Intellectual transformation is not transformation. Knowledge puffs up, love edifies. Just hearing a sermon and knowing more facts than we did before is not what God's after. He's after change at a heart level. All the things that we've been learning personally about grace, and God's been just downloading things over these last few years about grace and teaching me. It's been amazing what He's just opened up in my life. But I don't want to just see it. I want to become it. I want to live it. It's got to be a heart level thing. It's got to be something beyond a teaching. It's got to be something that's real. And so I've been asking God, teach me how to get to the heart level. How do I move past just knowing about this stuff? And I'm calling you guys into this as well. Because the problems in our lives, if we focus on the problems, we won't get the answers. If we focus on people, we'll get distracted. I do it. You just want to, Jesus, I love you. There's got to be reality at the heart level for us, because Paul said we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Your neighbor's not the problem. Your neighbor can behave and become a problem, but the real problem is the influence of spirits in that person's life that they are in blinders to, that's affecting their lives, that's affecting you. So people are not the issue. It's the stuff behind it, Paul says. Listen to Psalm 78. This is verse 37 to 43. I'm just kind of teaching today. But Psalm 78, verse 37 and forward. For their heart was not steadfast with him. Of course, this is the law. This is first covenant. But for their heart was not steadfast with them, nor were they faithful to his covenant. And nobody was. That's why Jesus came and made a new covenant. But he, being full of compassion, forgave their iniquity. And he did not destroy them. Yes, many a time he turned his anger away and did not stir up all of his wrath. For he remembered that they were but flesh, a breath that passes away and does not come again. How often they provoked him in the wilderness, remember the wilderness, and grieved him in the desert. Yes, again and again they tempted God and limited the Holy One of Israel. Isn't it amazing that God is boundless in his power? He has all authority, all power. He is good in his nature. He's always wanting to do what's good. And yet, because of the relationship that God had with them, he was limited in what he could do by the faith that they were willing to walk in. It says that they didn't remember his power. The day when he redeemed them from the enemy, when he worked signs in Egypt and his wonders in the field of Zoan. You understand? You understand that there is not a limitation in God as to how good he can be. And yet, we can place the limitation on him. That's why change has to happen at a heart level. That's what he talked about here, that this was a heart issue. But when the heart is changed, when the heart sees things differently, then that person's life begins to display the limitless nature of God through their lives. Hebrews 11:1. I was studying on this passage this week, and had never seen this before. Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? The evidence of things not seen. I looked up things in the Thayer's Greek lexicon. Things means that which has already been done. A deed that's already been accomplished, an accomplished fact. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the evidence that you are seeing things that have already been done as an accomplished fact. Faith is seeing things. What is it that is already the accomplished fact? Jesus, raised from the dead. Jesus, who was condemned, becoming one who is righteous, the one who all the curses of the law and disease was placed on him. Now he's perfectly, physically, I know he's still probably going to show off his nail scars, but everything else is okay. And that's just because it's a reminder to you and me of the cross and his redemption. But he's been completely healed. What I want to say to you this morning, I want to just keep getting this in because it's what he's doing in me. And so that's the only thing I preach is what he's doing to me, because if I have to go through it, so do you. So, and that is simply this. Faith is not a blind leap. It's not stepping off into the dark. Faith is not somehow, I'm just going to step out on a limb here. Well, was God on the limb? That's the important question to know. It's not blind. Faith is based on seeing something that's already been done, that has been accomplished, that is finished. And so on the basis of that, there is an anchor that's steadfast, that I can always know the will of God if I'm seeing what's already been done and already finished.